What a joy and delight it is to be celebrating 17 years as a community with all of you. Friends, bask in the glow of this loving community that you have all created. Any kind of anniversary celebration always involves a look at relationships, a look back over the years, a present look, and a look toward the future. This morning, we will do this through the lens of growth and transformation, with a focus on how intimacy has been a key ingredient of our spiritual and relational growth. I think it's most appropriate to start at the beginning. In 2007, our founding members took a risk and stepped onto an uncharted path, taking on the challenging yet life-giving effort that creating a new community requires. Eileen, we continue to be grateful for your strong, energetic pastoral leadership then and now. Our deepest thanks to you and Larry, Peg and Jer Devine, Cass and Bud Englert, Charlotte Flynn, Mary Lefevre, Mary Ann Gunther, Maria Marlowe, Bonnie Guarini, the O'Connells, Paul and Rosemary Hughes, Rose Blaney, and Craig Fisher, who all worked together to build the beginnings of an intimate and truly loving community. Our sister communities walked side by side with us. Thank you, Community of the Christian Spirit, led by Judy Heffernan, Sanctuary of Peace, and the Women's Ordination Conference for your wonderful support through the years and for celebrating with us today. Over the next several years, our community grew in numbers, with about 35 to 40 people worshiping each week. Yet our real growth was not in numbers, but in our relationships with one another and the ever-evolving intimacy that resulted. We created a vision statement, enjoyed community retreats, reached out to many who were in need, and walked with one another in times of joy, doubt, and struggles of faith. Then in 2020, in the midst of a trying pandemic, our community blossomed even more. With many joining us on Zoom, our numbers skyrocketed to over 80 people. And yet, the intimacy remained and even continued to grow. I'm grateful to Kathy Shuck for her wonderful pastoral approach and technical expertise, thankfully, that propelled us forward then. Thanks, Kath, and into the present. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, Kath. The pandemic, as difficult as it was, transformed us in ways we never would have predicted. And the intimacy of our sharings and relationships has deepened. In her book, The Meaning of Mary Magdalene, Discovering the Woman at the Heart of Christianity, Cynthia Bourgeau reminds us that for those who have learned how to use the friction inherent in all intimate relationships as a stimulus for conscious growth, the rate of progress can be breathtaking. Over the years, whether relational issues of the heart or decisions of direction, our community has listened deeply to one another's intimate sharings and has grown by dealing straightforwardly and lovingly with the friction that varying perspectives and diversity of thought bring. Like good blacksmiths, when our community is dealing with friction, we have used the heat generated in this case by inner passion to forge a stronger and more loving community. Later in her book, Cynthia Bourgeau writes about how Mary Magdalene took Jesus's teachings into her being, did her inner work, and emerged with singleness of heart. She then goes on to say this about Mary Magdalene and intimacy. Because her human heart and lover's passion are so central to this transformation, she teaches us that we need not be afraid of these things in our own spiritual striving. The path to fullness of being lies through human intimacy, not away from it. Our interactions through the years have embodied an intimacy of heart that reflected the spiritual teaching of Mary Magdalene herself. So, how is the Spirit of God calling us to ever-evolving transformation and deepening intimacy now and as we move into the future? There are many opportunities led by community members that offer us ways to grow in spiritual intimacy. Some are contemplative gatherings, such as Lectio Divina, Reiki Share for Peace, the Gospel of Thomas, Lectio Divina, and First Friday Prayer. Others include participation in the book club, the You Are Mine group, the Social Justice Committee, the hiking group, Access Chester, Chester Eastside, and liturgical support ministries. Most recently, community members were invited to discern a call to be part of the community preaching team. In each of these groups, interaction among community members invites us to grow in our spiritual walk with one another and the Holy One. Thank you to the many people who lead and participate in these and other groups. You are truly embodying the words of Mary's gospel today as you proclaim the good news of the realm in word and action. On a personal note, I am so very grateful to all of you for the way you have expanded my heart and taught me how to love more broadly and deeply. I have been so enriched by your intimate personal sharings during liturgies and other prayer experiences, out on the hiking trail, and in one-on-one conversations. Thank you for growing me through the years. And I look forward to even more growth as we walk into the future together. As we celebrate our 17th anniversary, I invite each of us to ponder how our Mary Magdalene community has been a gift for us, and perhaps how intimacy or transformation has been part of that gift. If you would care to share that gift during our homily response, please do so. Again, thank you and happy anniversary.